In the charming city of Taiwan, Lucy stood beside her companion Richard in front of a luxurious hotel. Suddenly, Richard asked her for a strange request: to carry a heavy bag and deliver it to Mr. Jiang inside the hotel. Lucy refused. Upset by the ambiguity of the situation and the secrecy of the bag, Richard tried to tempt her with $500, but to no avail. Her confusion deepened when Richard grabbed her hand and tightly chained it to the handle of the bag, leaving her with only one option: to enter the hotel and deliver the bag. Lucy entered the hotel with hesitant steps, her heart trembling with fear and curiosity. She approached the receptionist and explained her task in a hoarse voice. Suddenly, she heard the sound of a gunshot. Through the hotel's glass window, she saw Richard fall to the ground, lifeless. He had been shot by a gang that emerged from the elevator. They escorted her to the upper floors of the hotel, where she found herself in an office filled with dead bodies. Her terror intensified when Mr. Jiang appeared, wearing protective glasses and with blood covering his hands. He used a translator to tell her what he wanted, but the translator's words did not calm her down. She was trapped in her fear and the ambiguity of the situation, without understanding why she had been abducted or what the mysterious bag contained. Jiang writes the number 140 on a piece of paper, which turns out to be the secret code to open the bag she's carrying. Jiang hides and his gang members protect themselves with body armor and weapons. Under the threat of weapons, Lucy opens the bag, her heart pounding with fear. Inside, she finds bags of crystal blue balls. Jiang brings a nervous man to sniff the balls. The man begins to tremble and laugh hysterically like a madman, until Jiang pulls out his gun and kills him. Jiang offers Lucy a job, but she refuses. One of the gang members hits her, causing her to lose consciousness. Lucy wakes up on a bed in a room with a bandage wrapped around her stomach. The gang appears and gives her clothes to wear. They take her to Mr. Jiang, along with 3 other men. A British man named Limey appears and explains to Lucy that she and the other 3 men are carrying a type of drug called dragon's eggs inside their stomachs. This drug, he says, will revolutionize the drug scene in Europe because it's a mutation, and unlike any other drug in history. Later, Lucy finds herself chained to a chair. One of the gang members tries to assault her, but she defends herself fiercely. The man gets angry and kicks her hard in the stomach, causing the bag inside her to rupture and the dragon's eggs to spread into her bloodstream. Lucy begins to float against gravity until she reaches the ceiling and falls back to the ground. She regains consciousness, her eyes glowing blue, and sits calmly on the chair, fully aware of what she's doing. A gang member enters the room, and Lucy tries to seduce him. The man smiles like a shark, puts the keys on the table, and approaches her, but she grabs his belt and knocks him out with a powerful blow.
She snatches the belt, grabs the gun, and after freeing herself, she shoots the gang, killing them all in a split second while they are eating. Despite being shot in the shoulder, she is able to remove the bullet from her body without feeling any pain, and eats all the food on the table before leaving. She asks the taxi driver to take her to the hospital, and on the way, Lucy's senses begin to develop, and she can hear people's voices outside the car. When she arrives at the hospital, she can read Taiwanese texts for the first time in her life. Lucy storms into the operating room, carrying her gun like a magic wand. To the astonishment of the doctors, she shoots the patient, assuring them that the tumor in his head has taken over and that death is inevitable. She threatens the doctors with her weapon, demanding that they extract the bag of drugs from her stomach without local anesthesia. While waiting impatiently, she calls her mother, explaining her unique feeling of the movement of air, blood, heat, and gravity. She also recalls her childhood memories of her illness as a young child and playing with her cat. After expressing her love to her mother, the doctor manages to extract the bag of drugs from Lucy's stomach, revealing its strange component: dragon's eggs. Faced with the doctor's shock at Lucy's ability to survive all this time, with the eggs leaking into her stomach, Lucy walks confidently towards Jiang's house. Without warning, she storms into the house, leaving behind a massacre among the gang members and forcing the tattoo artist to flee. She plunges 2 knives into Mr. Jiang's palms, and thanks to her superhuman strength, Lucy can read Mr. Jiang's memory by simply placing her hand on his head. She sees photos of plane tickets for his 3 men, carrying the drugs she is looking for. Lucy leaves the scene, leaving Jiang groaning in pain and torment. She heads to her friend Carolina's house, borrowing her computer. With incredible speed, Lucy devours all of Dr. Norman's scientific research on the development of the human mind. She then initiates a call with him, opening a discussion about his ideas and discoveries. Dr. Norman is shocked by Lucy's extraordinary abilities, as she explains her progress to 20% of her mental capacity. Lucy surprises him with her ability to control electronic devices, appearing on his television screen, his tablet, and his mobile phone. Lucy decides to meet him soon. News of Lucy, the patient killer, spreads like wildfire. She heads to the airport, where she completely changes her appearance, from her hair color and style to her clothes, becoming a completely new person.
She contacts a French officer named Del Curio to inform him of crucial information about 3 men with drugs implanted in their stomachs. She boards the plane and immerses herself in research on the human mind, using 2 laptops on which she types at an astonishing speed. The flight attendant asks her to turn off the computers for the safety of the aircraft, but Lucy takes control of the attendant's mind and sends her to get whiskey. As she drinks the whiskey, Lucy begins to feel her body fading, so she is forced to consume the dragon's eggs, that mysterious substance, to regain her balance. However, she loses consciousness and her mental abilities reach 50%. She finds herself in the hospital. Officer Del Grio waits for her with a group of officers and doctors after arresting one of the 3 drug dealers. She wakes up from her coma and leaves the room to find herself facing a group of armed men. With a simple gesture of her finger, everyone present loses consciousness, except for Officer Del Grio, who is confused and bewildered. Lucy uses her superior mental abilities to search for the dragon's eggs. In a fit of recklessness, she decides to drive the police car and speeds through the streets of Paris, admitting to Del Grio that she has never sat in the driver's seat before. Jackie, Mr. Jiang's assistant, arrives at the hospital with his armed group. They take the smugglers to a closed room to extract the dragon's eggs from their stomachs. Lucy arrives at the hospital with Del Grio, while her mind reaches 60% of its capacity. She creates a virtual wall to prevent Jackie from escaping with the bag of dragon's eggs. Lucy approaches Jackie, controlling the gang, keeping them away from her with a mere wave of her hand. She snatches the bag from him, leaving him paralyzed in place. Lucy asks Del Grio for help, but he feels helpless in the face of her supernatural abilities. Lucy kisses him to motivate him to help her. Mr. Jiang watches them as they drive away, and he and Jackie head to the university behind them, where Jackie tells him that Lucy is a witch. Jiang decides to eliminate Lucy in revenge. Lucy arrives at the university where she meets with Dr. Norman and the scientists. She explains her amazing discoveries to them, showing how she has surpassed the limits of human capabilities, opening the way for them to conduct revolutionary studies and research. Suddenly, Jiang and 25 of his men storm the university, opening fire on the security guards and leaving behind chaos. Lucy hands the dragon's eggs to the scientists, asking them to turn them into a liquid and inject it into her blood through the tubes. This action leads to an increase in Lucy's mental abilities to 70%, and her hands turn into a black substance that spreads throughout the place, absorbing computers, servers, and furniture to draw their energy, leaving Norman and the scientists in an empty white space. With great skill, Lucy creates a supercomputer in front of them with her own body.
While the police arrive and kill some of Mr. Jiang's gang members, Jiang orders Jackie to take action. Jackie takes a rocket launcher from a dead man and fires a rocket at the room where Lucy is located. In a crucial moment, Lucy decides to break the boundaries of time. She travels to the 18th century, then to the Native Americans, then to the age of dinosaurs, where she almost gets eaten by one. She sees a monkey drinking from a lake and touching her finger. Suddenly, Lucy flies into the sky, and then moves to the era of the Earth's formation, and finally to the beginning of the universe to discover the secret of existence. Lucy reaches 99% of her mental abilities. Then Jiang enters the room, approaches her, and raises his gun towards her head. When Lucy's mental abilities reach 100%, her body completely turns black. Suddenly, her body disappears, leaving only her clothes behind. Jiang shoots at her and realizes that she has disappeared with her magical abilities. But Del Grio appears from behind him and shoots him dead. The black substance disappears from the room after turning into a flash drive in Norman's hand. This flash drive contains all the secrets of the universe and all the studies that Lucy conducted in a short time. Del Grio asks about Lucy's whereabouts, but a message appears on his phone from Lucy telling him that she is everywhere. In the end, Del Grio moves away from Jiang's body, and Lucy says that life has been granted to humans for billions of years, but now the time has come when humans can decide for themselves what they can do in life. Are you ready for the next movie? Subscribe to the channel to receive a notification as soon as it is released. Don't forget to activate the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.